Well, good evening, my friend.
Yeah, good evening, Jan. How's it going this evening?
You know, it's going. It's it's been a real sad time here for me personally and for the whole bluegrass and acoustic guitar world as Tony Rice passed away.
Yeah, I was really devastated by that news. I wish I would have. I got to meet Tony one or two times, but I wish I'd have got to spend some time with him. Seemed like a really genuine and
Oh,
just a great all around guy.
he has such a sweet spirit about him, and
Yeah,
he started out the relation. I mean, he started out just him being a teenage idol. You know, and he just existed on record covers and stuff. And
yeah,
then from one encounter to the next, and Tony and I became pretty good friends, or really good friends. And I I don't know. I've been feeling kind of sick here.
yeah.
You know, it was his wife's birthday yesterday. So,
Mm.
but anyway,
We appreciate everything you've done, Jan, to preserve his videos and the phone calls that you did with him and put on YouTube. I know the bluegrass community really appreciates what you did.
we talked so many times about, man, we need to record this stuff because we had a lot of different, interesting conversations. But I it never happened.
And we were planning on having another one too, but
Yes, with Billy Wolf.
yeah, but fate had it to where it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, but just keep Pam, his and all the India and all that family in your prayers. And
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I'd like to do some kind of Tony Rice memorial show here coming up.
yeah. Maybe we can do that. We'll put our heads together and bring in some of our musician friends, and we'll have a big show.
I know Brian Sutton had something last week.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about talking to Brian, because well, I know him personally. We played or I played in his family band back in the 88, 89.
yeah. Did Randy Burgess play with them then?
Burgess and me, and then what was it Sean Heron or something?
Shane Herring.
Shane Heron.
Yeah.
And
Keep Randy in your prayers. He's not doing good medically, so health wise. So I'll tell you more after the show, Jan. But
yeah, well, I love Randy like a brother.
Yeah.
We've been friends since I came over here in '86.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear he's not well, but anyway, we got some good news though, and this is like quite a surprise what happened.
Yeah.
You bought a tape on
Yeah.
eBay, I guess.
Yeah, just like the last set of tapes, I just buy something and hope it turns out good. And man, did this ever turn out good. I just got it today in the mail, and you and me listened to a little bit of it a little while ago. And
Cool, man. Some strong stuff now.
we were blown away by what we heard. And tonight, what we're going to play, there's several different things on this tape. I don't know why they're intermixed like this, but tonight, part of the tape is Lefty Frizzell when he was 18 years old, and some home recordings of him in the supposedly New Mexico area. He was recording on a station down there in New Mexico, and this is from that time period. So
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting. And the guy that recorded this is doing a lot of talking in between the tapes. So we get to hear a lot of really cool stuff tonight.
Yeah. So, is there anything else on these tapes you want to tell the people about?
Oh yeah, we've got a big to do for the people next week.
Yeah.
We've got Bill Monroe and the Bluegrass Boys live in 1946 on the Opry. You and me just listened to a little bit of that as well, and
wow, they were on fire. I mean,
I swear. I mean, this stuff might be out there somewhere, but I swear I'd never heard these recordings before. It sounded new to me, but I could be wrong.
we'll have to check with, maybe Michael Cleveland or, some Compton. Mike Compton would know.
Either way, that'll be the show next week. So I hope everybody tunes in next week because that's going to be a really big show.
Yes.
That we have.
But here is, again, one of the great stylists, country music. I feel like Lefty Frizzell doesn't get really enough attention, or people. He should be more known as influential as he. He influenced obviously the Haggard and Keith Whitley and that whole bloodline of singers.
Yeah, and this was pretty early on in Lefty's career. He's 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I read that this was his first gig on the radio, and we'll get more into the history. I pulled up an article we'll talk about later that tells about this time period, but it's pretty early in Lefty's history, and it's interesting to hear how we talked about this, how he incorporates some of the musicians that were before him, how he incorporates their styling into his own music, like Jimmy Rogers. And
both his singing and his guitar playing has a clear influences.
Yeah, and folks, take a special note to his guitar playing too, because his I guess he was playing an old B-28 or something, and it sounds pretty big.
It's got a big sound.
Yeah, sure. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what is the radio station there again?
Let me look at the notes here. It says KGFL, Roswell, New Mexico, circa 1946.
Area 51 country.
Yeah. This was, when they talk about aliens, they might be talking about Lefty Frizzell because this was some out of this world music. And
that's good.
We might have got confused on that, man.
Very witty and eloquent.
Yeah.
Let's play a little bit of this. And now, did you ever able to identify this guy who's doing all the talking?
Not yet, and we only listened to 2 or 3 tracks. So,
yeah, we don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, we're just kind of, as Dan Anderson says, jumping off the Eiffel Tower and hoping for the best.
Yeah, it really is. We never know. Maybe this hasn't been played in God knows how long.
Yeah, and if anybody out there listening has any information, please feel free to join the show or leave a comment because we'd like to know more.
Yeah. Please join us here. You can just contact us here on Facebook, or I can send you an invitation link if you want to come. If you're out there and you know a lot about Lefty and the old country music history, that will be good. I know there are people out there.
Well, I guess without further ado, let me position the camera and we'll get this show rolling.
Yeah. So Lefty Frizzell, 1946, an 18-year-old Lefty who was born in 1928. What was his hometown again?
I can't remember, Jan. I can't quite remember for some reason. Look it up for us while we're playing this. And
yeah, I got my assistant here, Brian Bill Lershall. Can you check on Google what was the hometown there for where Lefty was born?
And I've got the tape ready to roll, so I'm going to hit the play button here, Jan.
Go ahead and do it, man.
And while we're at it, we have plenty of room here on the tape, and I'd like to go back through the old collection of records and old friends that have come out here to 310 South Delaware, the little house behind 310 South Delaware. Of course, we built this place here behind the folks' big place when I first got out of the Army, and of course, I bought the very first disc recorder that was available after the war in 1945. I bought the recorder in 1946, and here's one of the fellows I'd like to introduce. I don't have him here in person right now, but here's a bunch of the records that he used to make on the old disc recorder right here at the place. None other than Lefty Frizzell. At the time that we first met Lefty Frizzell, he was just another kid that used to come out here and record at the house. Lefty was about 18 years old at the time, and I was 20. So he recorded some of his first records. Of course, they were 78 RPM on my disc recorder here. And I think I'll spin one by Lefty Frizzell, and then I'll get into more detail about how we used to record and have bull sessions and everything out here at our house when we first started recording records about 1946. So here's a little disc that I dug out that I recorded in 1946 right here at 310 South Delaware. It's Lefty Frizzell.
You're always on my mind, dear. Sadness is all I find, dear. I hated to leave you alone. I can see your loveless smile, but from you I'm many miles. I hope you're not lonely when I'm gone. You said you'd pray for me, dear, also wait for me, dear. I vowed that I would not do you wrong. I kept my word to you, dear. I'm lonely without you out here. I hope you're not lonely when I'm gone. I know you'll wait patiently, and I'm sure you'll miss me. But darling, please don't cry when you're alone. I'll come back to you then. I'll never leave you again. So darling, don't be lonely when I'm gone. I'll just be gone from you, dear. Of course it will seem like always. I won't count the days and they won't be so long. Darling, don't shed tears because the days are not here. So darling, don't be lonely when I'm gone.
And that'll give you an idea of how Lefty Frizzell used to sound back in the year of 1946. Of course, his voice has deepened quite a bit since then, and we've all grown up quite a bit, I guess, since then, because Lefty Frizzell at that time was considered a teenager. But at this time, he just had the big jumbo Martin guitar. And the last time that I checked with Lefty, he still had this same guitar, the one that he had back in 1946 when he used to come out to the house and spend the day with us, and we'd record the songs that he had wrote. Now, later on, he got to record these on commercial record. But at this time, he had never been on anything any more than these little home recording discs. In fact, this is what we're using here, is the little home recording disc. Some of these discs are no bigger than 6 inches. Some of them are 8-inch discs. And then a little bit later, I got my machine adjusted well enough that I could cut a 10-inch disc. So there's several discs here that I have lined up I'd like to play for you that Lefty recorded out here with us in 1946. And so here's another one.
I never thought when you left me that life could be so hard to bear. Oh, my heart is broken, it's left me knowing just how much I care. You said I would forget you, was all for my sake, so you planned. But each night I go to sleep praying that somehow you'll understand. Of course, there'll be others who try in your place, but they'll never equal your smallest embrace. So please believe me when I say it's true, darling, I'm missing you. You said that I soon would forget you, was all for my sake, so you planned. But each night I go to sleep praying that somehow you'll understand. Of course, there'll be others who try in your place, but they'll never equal your smallest embrace. So please believe me when I say it's true.
And that's another one of the discs that I used to cut that didn't end very well, because at that time I hadn't learned how to make shut-off grooves, and using these small records at 78 speed would always record just as close up to the label as we could. And just a whole lot of these that Lefty used to make at that time, we didn't write down any title or any label on the front to tell exactly what the number was. So I don't know what the names or the titles of some of these songs are. So I'll pick up another one over here. It just says Lefty Frizzell, that Lefty or some of us wrote down with a pen and ink, but we didn't put the title on it. So let's spin it.
You left me in sorrow, you drifted away. You said our love just could not be. You said that you hoped I would find someone new. You said you did not care for me. I'm sorry, my darling, it is like this, because I still love you true. But I'll face tomorrow and hold back my tears, and I'll never cry over you. Oh, I'll never cry over you, dear. Though my heart is breaking in two, I'll just go my way and smile every day, and I'll never cry over you. I just can't believe you have left me alone when I think of days spent with you. There's no use pretending I know you are gone, but why should I say I am blue? I hope you'll be happy and always carefree. I pray that your dreams all come true, and it makes no difference what you've done for me. I'll never cry over you.
You've probably noticed that some of these records are a little bit distorted, and it's a wonder that we got these at the volume and at the quality that we got right here, because I don't think I mentioned it before, but when we first got this machine back in 1946, they sent me the machine, but they didn't have a recording level, or what they called a recording eye, that showed you the volume and the level to record it. So a lot of this was just done in the dark, as you might say, without anything to guide us, no indicator hand, no electric eye. And I hadn't learned at that time to write down little figures there and make experiments, to set the volume. In fact, Lefty was so anxious to record on the new the new disc recorder. That was way back before tape. He was so thrilled to come out and make a record that I didn't have time to make any experiments or anything. I think about the second or third day that I had the machine, the word had spread all over town that Ray Patterson had a disc recorder, and so all the musicians around Roswell, they would come out, get in touch with me, and wanted to record a record disc. And so some of these was done without any indicator hand, no electric eye, or anything for balance. So here's another one I'd like to spin, which there's no title on it, just says Lefty Frizzell, and we'll put this one on and see what it is.
Sweetheart, you know I love you so. Why did I ever let you go? And dreams, you're all that I can say. So won't you reconsider me? My confession to you, dear, makes me shed a silent tear. My heart would be so light, sweetheart, if you would say we'll never part. Sweetheart, I'm all alone tonight, and wandering over my wasted path. I see that you were always right, and now I'm at your feet at last. Take my heart and lay it low. This is all I have to give. So please believe me when I say, for all the wrong I've done, I'll pay.
Well, Seth, you can clearly hear the Jimmy Rogers influence, and which was, of course, he was influenced by the blues, the blues singers.
Yeah, I like this last comment. I'm just reading it. It says it's almost blues and country and old time.
Yeah,
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, it's a little different than country blues, or Delta blues, whatever, like the late 20s stuff. But it's got more of a maybe square or a dance music feel to it, like the upbeat, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, agree or disagree with me. I think that Jimmy Rogers and Bill Monroe and a few others, but mainly Bill Monroe and Lefty Frizzell, I meant to say, are the crossroads of American music.
Mm-hmm.
Lefty and Bill are right in the middle of all of it, with all these influences coming in and going out.
Yeah, you're right. A wonderful juxtaposition of musical styles,
Yeah.
The one ingredient I always say, the one ingredient that I think singles out all forms of American, really great American music is the blues,
Yeah.
I mean, it's in there, and the more of it, the more I like it,
Me too, and that's what drew me to bluegrass music and Bill Monroe's music, was that kind of bluesy
Me too.
sound that had just had it had an edge to it. Really, is the best way I know how to put it.
Yeah. Well, I started listening to the blues when I was just in my early teens, so I had only really been studying English for a few years, and it was all BBC English. So, I had no idea what those blues men back in the late 20s down in Alabama or Mississippi, what they were saying. But the music had such I don't know, just such a primal function or primal characteristic to it or ingredient that it crossed all cultural and language barriers. You know, it's just
Yeah.
so powerful.
Yeah, it is. It is. But man, this recording here is just incredible to hear Lefty at this age, and man, that guitar sounds big as a house.
Yeah,
What a stout guitar player! I never really thought of Lefty as a guitar player, but after I'm hearing this, it's
yeah, definitely.
pretty evident that he was a strong rhythm player at the age of 18.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Uh, see if we can get Mr. Barney Rogers on here. He's a big follower of Lefty Frizzell's music, and
Yeah, would love to have Barney come on. You know, I've still got a picture of you and me and him and Ronnie Smith outside of the Earl Scruggs and Lester Flat House in Raleigh.
yeah, that's right.
I need to frame that or something one day.
Yeah, yes, yes. Well, let's play another number here. I see Carla Osborne is on here. Good to see you, Carla.
Yeah. All right, let me get our tape back to rolling. Here we go.
I might explain again here about the quality of the past records that we heard. Some of these records was recorded on cardboard. Some of the folks probably remember the old cardboard disc they used to get with the early record cutters. Of course, this is not one of the most early record cutters. This is what they call the Recordio Wilcox Gay disc recorder. And so Lefty Frizzell made some of his first recordings on the Wilcox Gay label. Of course, that was a pretty popular label back in the 40s for everybody that had a disc recorder, because the Wilcox Gay record disc was a pretty cheap disc. In fact, the audio on a red label, orange label disc was a lot more expensive. But back when Lefty was making these records that you just heard, they was recorded on Wilcox Gay. And you probably noticed that Lefty at this time had the sound of Jimmy Rogers, because Hank Snow and Gene Autry, a lot of the fellas that you've heard on record, they used to, when they first started out, they patterned quite a bit after Jimmy Rogers. I picked out another disc now. This is strictly cardboard. It's one of the white cardboard discs, and this might have been recorded off of KGFL radio, where Lefty Frizzell had a daily radio program in 1946. So let's see what we have here. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir, once again, it's time for all of us to sit back and listen once again to the song of the years from Lefty Frizzell. Now, Lefty's guitar playing and singing is brought to you each afternoon at the same time, courtesy of the Owens Brothers Shoe Shop and the new arcade over on East 2nd Street. So, without further ado, I think we'll just turn the microphone over to your friend of mine, Lefty Frizzell, who's going to sing first, My Baby and My Wife. When the twilight shadows are falling, my day's work is done. It is then I wend my way back to my home. And the light I find there shining, like a guiding star to me, to show me the right road from the wrong. There a girl is waiting with a baby on her knee. To see them just fills my heart with joy, because I truly love them. They mean the world to me. It's my wife and my precious baby boy. And when our meal is over, we're sitting by the fire, and the baby crawls around there on the floor. My thoughts then turn to heaven, and I thank the Lord above,
for the blessings he has let come in our door. I know I'm not deserving the blessings he has sent. I try and try, but yet I go astray. But I'll keep on praying for the Lord to help me be the man I want my boy to be someday. The time just rolled right on around, the clock is striking 9. The baby is a-yawning now and then. My wife, she gently picks him up and starts to rocking him. I can feel her tugging at my heart within. His head up on her shoulder, his arms untwined, his eyelids are as heavy as can be. Then he gives up with a struggle and snuggles close to her. It's the sight that's worth more than the world to me. And when he is in dreamland, he tucks him in his bed. Side by side we two kneel down and pray. We ask the Lord in heaven to watch our darling boy and to help him walk the straight and narrow way. At times this life seems dreary and hardships come my way as I struggle on through this life. But my cares all vanish when I reach the home to be greeted by my baby and my wife.
My Baby and My Wife, as sung by Lefty Frizzell. Lefty, I understand that you had quite a crowd out at the Servicemen's Club last night at the Roswell Army Airfield. And there were about 750 fellows out there to greet you. Is that true? That's right. And Lefty said that he really had a grand time, and so you seemed like all those fellows had a good time, too. Well, that's mighty fine, and Lefty will be back out there one of these days, and when he does, we'll sure let you know about it beforehand. Well, I guess I'm going to have to look up something here to tell the folks about, and I'm quite sure it's going to be on the Owens Brothers Shoe Repair Shop around here at 210 West 4th Street. Yes, sir, and all I have to do is just find my copy because I've lost it, and I don't seem to find it. Anyway, this is the time of year that everyone is thinking about and buying new clothes for Easter, and that new Easter outfit probably quite naturally includes new shoes. Well, friends, how about your old shoes? If they're beginning to look a little worn and the soles getting thin, wheels running over, don't discard them. Take them to the Owens Brothers Shoe Repair Shop. They'll add extra months of wear to those shoes and return them to you looking like new. By taking those old shoes to the Owens Brothers for repair, it's just like buying yourself an extra pair of them.
It's all over now, I won't worry. Still I long for that smile on your face. The days that we spent while together are still fresh in my memory. It's all over now, I won't worry. Still I wish you were back here with me. The summer's house gone and I've waited. My waiting has all been in vain. It's all over now, I won't worry. And with you my poor heart remains. It's all over now, I won't worry. The years have passed and I'm old. It's never too late, I won't worry, and my love for you never grow old. It's all over now, I won't worry. There's nothing that time won't erase. It's all over now, I won't worry. Still I long for that smile on your face.
Friends, when you have a little time for some relaxation, we'd like to suggest a mighty good place to go. Now, we're talking about the new arcade billiard parlor and coffee shop, now in bright new quarters at 116 East 2nd Street, less than a half a block off of Main. Because of the modern big windows, it's almost like being outside, and there's plenty of light. In addition, the new arcade has installed new fluorescent fixtures. You'll play a better game with better light. Up in the front of the new arcade is a nice fountain and lunch counter. Read mine.
You promised me.
I believe we're having a little bit of a situation here.
I figured I'd just stop. I meant to stop a little sooner.
Okay.
We'd just take a break because I've got some history here about Lefty during this time period. And the last two songs we just heard is the guy who recorded this said is from a radio station in Roswell, New Mexico. A station called KGFL is the name of it. So what I'm reading here says that Lefty got his start pretty much in Roswell at this radio station. It was just pretty much his first gig on a radio station, and pretty soon after that, he was a local celebrity. Said one thing here. He was a pretty charming young man who attracted several of the local single ladies. Followed him and the group he played with wherever they played around town.
Yeah.
One pretty interesting bit of history I've never heard about. He said, or this article says that he had an affair with one of the girls, and she was under the age of consent. And when Lefty dropped her, she became jealous and filed statutory rape charges against Lefty and one of the other musicians. They had trials concerning this ordeal that happened in August of 1947, and all 5 members of the band, including Lefty, were sent to 6 months in jail at the Chaves County Jail there in New Mexico.
I'll be.
And while in jail there, Lefty wrote some songs, including "If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time."
Yeah.
"I Loved You 1,000 Ways." 2 of his biggest hits were wrote in jail.
Yeah. Well, he had the time, I guess.
Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting. I never knew anything about this part of Lefty's career or the history about it. So I'm glad we've uncovered this tape, and I, for myself, can learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Well, let's see. What we're going to tell the people? Yeah, we're gonna end this broadcast after this next few songs. Then we're gonna come back and have a little bit of a preview, I guess you can say, of what we got coming up for next week, which include the.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't tell who it was. Did we already announced that though?
Oh yeah, and people need to know. I mean, it's a pretty big recording. Bill Monroe and the Bluegrass Boys in 1946.
Which means, who's
Lester Flatt, Earl Scruggs, Chubby Wise, and what's the bass player's name? I can't think tonight.
Cedric.
Cedric Rainwater. Yeah. So,
Wainwright.
Yeah, the original band.
Yeah. So, but so I guess we'll just kind of play some more numbers from Lefty Frizzell.
Yep. Okay, here we go.
Love that will never die. That promise you made was only a lie. Now after you gone, all alone I pine. For all that I got is a worried mind. I gave you a ring, I gave you a home. You promised me too that you never own. I bought you fine clothes and I bought you wine, but all that you gave is a worried mind. And when I was down, you just left me there. I needed you so, but you didn't care. You found a new love and a home so fine, but all that I got is a weary mind. You promised me love that would never die. That promise you made was only a lie. Now after you gone, all alone I pine. For all that I got is a weary mind.
Well, Lefty, if you don't mind, I'd like to step in here for just a moment and tell the folks who are listening in if they have any requests that they'd like to hear you sing. All they have to do is write that request out on a postcard and address it to radio station KGFL in Roswell or any one of your sponsors. You'll get that request and be only too happy to do it for them as soon as you possibly can. Just remember, write your request on a postcard, address the postcard to radio station KGFL or one of Lefty's sponsors, and he'll get that request and put it on the air for you as soon as he possibly can. And now, Lefty steps back to the microphone to sing as his last number for the afternoon, You May Have Your Picture.
I just received your letter, and I've read it through and through. It's so hard to believe, dear, that's all I meant to you. I know that I have said the same before. Trouble's all I've ever found, and it's almost got me down, but I ain't going honky-tonkin' anymore.
Well, this completes another of Lefty's popular programs, folks, and we hope you'll all be listening again tomorrow at 1:45 when the music and songs of Lefty Frizzell will be brought to you by the Owens Brothers Shoe and Repair Shop and the Roswell Planing Mill. Until then, so long, everybody.
This is the voice of the Pecos Valley, KGFL, Roswell, New Mexico. The correct Mountain Standard Time at the tone, 2 p.m.
Number, a very popular number. It's been requested very often. Maiden's Prayer. Take it over, Lefty.
Twilight falls, evening shadows fine. There neath the stars, for maidens to fair divine. Moon on high, seem to see her there. And her eyes the light shining ever so bright as she whispered a silent prayer. Every word revealed an empty, broken heart, broken by fate. It holds them so far apart. Lonely there she kneels, tells the stars above. In her arms it belongs, and her prayer is a song, her unending song of love.
Well, I guess that's the end of the.
Yeah, I guess those last few songs were just shortcuts and outros and things like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but still pretty cool. And I love
Oh,
the
it is.
advertisements and the commercials in between. That just makes it that much more real.
Sure, it puts it like in some kind of historical context.
Yeah, I love the one commercial on there. It was for an arcade, and I guess they had pool or billiards, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Said something about they had a lot of windows or something and had really good lighting in there, so you could have a good shot.
Yeah. It's like being advertised. I remember, like playing with New Vintage. We were. It was down east somewhere out here, maybe Wilson. They said, New Vintage, bluegrass in the heated building. I told Ross, I said, man, we're on pretty high on the hog, you know.
That's funny.
Wow, you know you hit the big time if you're going to be playing in the heated building.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do this? We'll leave the people for a moment, and then we're gonna just talk a minute, and then we're gonna come back with a little announcement about our next.
Yeah, let's plan to be back on at 8:55, and we'll give a short preview of next week's show, which will be even, to me, bigger than this show. Which this was a big show and some pretty rare stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank everybody who tuned in tonight.
Yeah, we'll be back at 8:55, and tune in, and it'll just be real quick. So.
Yep. Sounds good. So thank you, everybody, and check us out again next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with some fine bluegrass from Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys from 1946.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.